Hello and welcome to Sim Radio here on Sisters in Music Network. It's Monday Music Madness and you're tuned in to Mixing It with Nicki Kris. This is Nicki, and in case you don't know anything about me, I'm a singer-songwriter from Raleigh, North Carolina. My show celebrates women in the music and entertainment industry, providing an avenue for them to showcase their talents. Our motto, Sisters in Music, together we are stronger. My guest today is an up-and-coming singer-songwriter. She began her music career at the young age of 15 when her mother contributed to the crowdfunding campaign of a childhood friend, leading to a co-writing opportunity that would solidify the young budding songwriter's first single. Now, at 19, with a recently released full-length album under her belt, she is working on new music and building a buzzing fan base. Please join me in welcoming the wonderful SarahGrace. Welcome to Mixin' It, Sarah. Thank you so much for joining me today. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. I'm so excited to have you on my show today, and I would really love us to dig into your debut album, because I do know the history behind it because we have some mutual friends. So, Changes was recently released, released when you were only 18. So tell us the story behind the album.
Well, but everything basically started with April Kuntz of April K Music. As one of the levels of support for April's Kickstarter, there was an option to co-write a song with her, and my mom thought that would be a great idea for me to come into the studio and get to see all the behind the scenes of the writing and the production process, and April thought it would be a great idea. And that's when we actually wrote my first single, Outsider, and April produced and released her own version, and then I got to release my own version of that song as well. And we just had great synergy, and we worked and wrote really well as a team, and so we decided to create an album together. We had no idea that this Kickstarter and April's journey would lead to this whole album for me.
That's really awesome, and it's a unique way to get started into the music business. So how did you guys start your songwriting process?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it's different for every song on that album. We call them seeds. So basically, one of us will come in with a melody or a lyric, and we just feed off of each other. We build off of that lyric or that melody, and we just work really well together.
How long did it take you to complete the album?
I wrote Outsider, and we started working on Outsider at 15, and I released that on my 16th birthday. And then soon after that, we started working on the album, and we released it in January of 2021, so about 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
But that's okay. Sometimes songs and albums take time.
Especially because Kevin and April are located in Raleigh, and I'm from Virginia. So I was a high school student. I was busy. I did cheerleading and softball and choir and a cappella, and I had so much going on in my life, so we had to find time to come down here when all three of us were free, and that definitely added to a lot of time on the process.
That definitely would. Yeah. That definitely would. So how old were you when you wrote the album's title track, Changes?
So I actually looked in my voice memos and found the original recording of the song, and that was dated December 5th, 2017. So I was 15 when I at least recorded that original voice memo, but I honestly could have wrote it at 14. I'm not entirely sure.
And then you recorded that at 16,
yeah,
right?
That was one of the first ones we recorded on the album.
How did that make you feel as a 16-year-old? You're coming into a studio working on a song that you know is going to be shared out to the world.
It's a lot. It's very intimidating. I mean, the first time I stepped in this studio, I had the most anxiety because it's just so much to be in this giant studio for the first time, and Kevin's a real-time producer, and it's amazing. Like, I'm so grateful for this opportunity, but it's definitely scary too, especially releasing it to my peers. And Changes is one that I brought in, and I brought in a lot of that one, so it was one that really came from my experiences in my life. So that one is even more like more vulnerability came with that one. So definitely scary.
Definitely makes sense. And I can relate to the scariness even myself. When I release something, I still have anxiety of, are my peers going to like it?
Right.
What are they going to say about the production or the writing? So unfortunately, it's one of those paths of being a singer-songwriter that you're probably going to always have. Because you always have to, you're always, that validation is always one of those key pieces of do people really
and
like
I
it?
think especially in the music industry, because you always want to be like, oh, it doesn't matter what other people think. Like, I'm enjoying making music. This is my music. I'm happy with it. I'm proud of myself. But at the same time, the music industry kind of thrives off of whether people like your music or not.
They do. So one of the things that I would like to ask you is if you could take us a little bit through your songwriting process, because I do think it is a little bit unique from what I've been told. And the other piece is, I know you're young, you're just starting out, and you're just getting started on your songwriting journey. But working with Kevin and April, are there any tips and tricks maybe that they have shared with you that you would be willing to share with some of our other budding songwriters out there?
Well, for my songwriting process, like I said, for each of the individual songs on the album, it was different. Sometimes Kevin would come in with an entire song ready. I mean, and sometimes April would come in with a melody, or I'd come in with a full page of lyrics but have no idea what to do with them. Because, at least for me, when I came in with my seeds, it was usually like, so I journal a lot. Anytime I'm feeling anything or I experience anything, I write it down. And it's usually just a rant. But then I go back later and I will take out sections or just like literally a line or a word that speaks out to me, and I will use that to either inspire lyrics, or if it's like a whole paragraph, I can just keep writing off of it. And that's usually my process. Like, I have my notebook with me today in the studio with Kevin and April, and I'm like, this is literally one word that I liked, and they were like, okay, cool, we can work with that. I mean, I do think we have a really great team here where everyone is collaborating an equal amount, I say, which is pretty unique and like rare. As for advice, I like having a team because we all bring different experiences and a different voice to the table. And obviously I'm a little bit younger than them. So it's nice having their experience, especially in songwriting, and their more mature storytelling depth, I guess, to be able to add to my experiences so that I can convey them better and also have a wider audience.
It's definitely a unique group.
Yeah.
But it works.
Yeah.
It definitely does work. And I actually feel the same way. I tend to enjoy, I mean, Kevin and I obviously have written several songs together, but I tend to enjoy working in a collaborative group where everyone is, participating, or at least collectively coming up with the song, rather than sitting in a room of 20 people and one person contributes one word and somebody else contributes 50% of the song. So
yeah, exactly. I mean, we definitely do just kind of bounce off of each other's energy, which is nice.
Great. Awesome. So which song do you like best on the album and why?
So I personally, Kevin disagrees, but my favorite is Meant to Be. I obviously love the lyrics, love the melody of the song, but it also connects really close with something that was going on in my life at the time. So it's easier for me to connect with it. And I do enjoy the songs on the album that relate more with things that were going on in my life, because they're easier for me to relate to and they're easier for me to emote while I'm singing.
Makes total sense. Yeah. And we are going to take a song pause and put this on for everyone. Here is Meant to Be off the album Changes by SarahGrace.
You're letting go. It's in your eyes. You're saying everything without speaking a single word. I'm standing still as the sun goes down. I get why you're leaving, but it's so hard to say goodbye. Can you turn around for 5 more minutes and forget we were meant to be? The sun is gone now. Some hearts were made to stay together while ours were passing by. Can you turn around for one more moment and put your arms around me? Forget it wasn't meant to be. Our chapter's closed. We've moved on now. The world keeps spinning, but I'll always carry this in my heart. When you turned around for one more moment and wrapped your arms around me, and we forgot it wasn't meant to be.
What a great song. I was listening to this and it certainly does tell a story. I think you did a fantastic job telling a story. And as I was listening to the lyrics, I was just sitting there going, yeah, I could certainly see that happening, and was relating it to certain things that even happened in my life. So very well done with the lyrical content, because it is not just, it crosses multiple generations, which I think is very significant. But how does it make you feel when you've released the song and you're hearing it on like Spotify for the first time?
So I was actually at school when the album came out. So my roommate and I at midnight listened to the entire album together. It's kind of insane because, like I said, we worked on this project for so long. We put so much time and effort into it. So being able to just say, hey, Siri, play Meant to Be by SarahGrace, and it just plays it, like, that is insane.
Technology is a wonderful thing. I do that all the time with Alexa. Alexa, play Nicki Kris, and then it's so
crazy.
everyone is influenced by someone, or they've been inspired by a particular artist or musician. So what artists are you influenced by?
I listen to all types of music. I am influenced by a lot of genres. I love pop, indie, country, everything. But I would have to say my top artist that I'm listening to right now, Ruth B, has always been one of my favorites. Olivia Rodrigo, Fleetwood Mac, Billy Joel, Casey Musgraves. Those are kind of top 5 right now.
So you have a blend.
It's a lot.
Even in that group. That's actually really unique because a lot of young artists don't tend to hit some of the older ones, especially, Fleetwood Mac, Billy Joel, obviously, I'm tagging on. If you could collaborate with anyone right now, who would you choose and why?
I think I would have to choose Ruth B, just because she was one of my main inspirations for this album. Obviously, none of my songs kind of ended up sounding like hers, but I was like, I love her. I love her sound. I love the way that she tells a story with her lyrics. I think her lyrics are amazing, and I want to be like her. Like, I love her. So I think I would definitely choose to collab with her right now.
Awesomeness. So I'm going to ask, and I'm expecting almost the same answer.
Okay.
So if you could open up for any artist, who would you choose and why?
Okay, so probably Ruth B. I mean, so I like Ruth B. and also Norah Jones. I love Norah Jones. They often perform in smaller, more intimate gatherings and in venues. I think I would prefer something like that so I could connect more with my audience. So probably one of those two.
That makes total sense. I am actually the same way. I prefer, I often compare, or a lot of people compare myself to me to Adele. And she always performed in like very more like smaller type venues, more closer environment to facilitate a little bit more audience connection. So I can definitely see that. Norah Jones definitely does that. Christina Perri does that. A lot of those.
All amazing.
All amazing, wonderful, what I would call singer-songwriter type of artists. Right. Exactly. So great. That's awesome. So this is a great place to take a short break here for a word from one of our partners in podcasting. We are showcasing the fabulous singer-songwriter, country artist Melissa Lee. We'll be right back on Mixing It with Nicki Kris here on Sim Radio.
Hey y'all, this is Melissa Lee, and you're listening to the SIM Radio Network. Check out my new song, Love, now on Spotify. Sisters in Music, together we're stronger.
And we're back on Mixing It with Nicki Kris on the Sim Radio Network, and my guest, SarahGrace. Before we talk more about your album, you're still in your teens, almost, right? Because you just turned 19, right? Okay. So just beginning your music career, are you songwriting full-time at this point, or is this kind of just feeling the waters?
Yes and no. I mean, obviously not full-time because I am a full-time student. I go to the University of Central Florida in Orlando, but I write as much as I can. I take every opportunity. All my free time is spent writing or performing if I can. Obviously, because of COVID, I haven't been able to perform in the past year, but anytime I can, I'm trying to write, open mic nights, anything. So, yes and no.
Yes and no. Do you play an instrument?
Not super well. I can find my way around a piano and a guitar, but it's more just to accompany myself.
Excellent. Yes, I'm the piano picker.
Yeah.
I'm self-taught, and it's very hard to expand when you're self-taught because you've taught yourself the wrong way.
Yeah, exactly.
To relearn is almost impossible at that point. You're almost better off just learning a new instrument from scratch. I tell that to Kevin all the time. So, getting back to changes, like you mentioned, COVID, big challenge. 2020 was crazy.
Insane.
Everybody's going to be talking about that one for come, but how did it impact the album launch? Because I think you actually had to delay it, correct?
Yeah. So we were actually done with the album, production, everything by September or October of 2020. Our original launch date was October 2020. That did get pushed to January 2021. That was a lot because of COVID, but also with the election and everything, we didn't really want it to get swept up and kind of lost with everything going on in the news. So, yeah, COVID and the election just pushed everything back. And not to mention, it was really hard when COVID hit to get down here and kind of finish wrapping things up because we didn't want to get each other sick. We were trying to be safe, but yeah.
Can definitely understand that. And actually, I think that's a very, very smart move. There's a couple of other artists that I've talked to, even in the past couple of weeks, that have done the same thing. All of them had even released, pulled it off, and then re-released again. So very, very smart so that you can give it the proper attention that it deserves. So kudos for that. Have you done or will you be doing any live shows to showcase your album, obviously, now that things have started to open up?
Yes. I am actually working with my brother right now. He plays guitar really well, so we're going to try to do some open mic nights in my hometown. And I'm also learning my songs on the piano, so we can sing together, and I can try to showcase my album in that way. But we all also are planning a live stream show that we're going to pre-record here in the studio, and we're going to release in July. So I'm very excited for that.
Oh, that's awesome. Have you been doing any of those over the past couple of months at all, or is this going to be your first one?
This is going to be the first one.
Excellent. Excellent.
Very excited.
We'll have to all keep our eyes and ears out for that one. So we have another song from the album. Please tell us about War.
Okay, this one is Kevin's favorite. This is why I said he would disagree with me. He loves War. He thinks it's the girl power song. My friends love it too, so I can't say otherwise. But this is one that he brought in. This was one of his seeds. It is definitely a powerful song. It is something that's a little bit out of my range, but I think a lot of the songs on the album are very different, and I like that because it kind of took me out of my comfort zone. And you can tell that all three of us are writing it together because they are all so different, and we do all have different experiences and voices on them. But yeah, Kevin brought War in. He loved it. We all loved it from the beginning. It is just that strong girl power song that I think every album needs.
Excellent. Well, we're going to play War off the album Changes by SarahGrace. Here it is.
You don't love me anymore. You turned a good thing into war. You've been running all around. Got a bad reputation now. You've left me with no choice. Everybody's gonna hear my voice. This is for every single girl who's had her heart broken by you, stupid boy. This is for every time you walked out leaving things unsaid. That's what you always did. Now you're begging me to stay, but you are never gonna change. This is for every day you told me it would be okay, but it's not okay. This is for you don't want me anymore. We went from love right into war. I got tricked and let down my shield. Now this song is my battlefield. You've been waving your white flag. I'm just getting started. This is my attack. This is for every single girl who's had her heart broken by you, stupid boy. This is for every time you walked out leaving things unsaid. That's what you always did. Now you're begging me to stay, but I've already walked away. This is for every day you told me it would be okay, but it's not okay. I should have seen the signs. Every time your lips moved, you told a lie. With So I've declared war. This is for every single girl who's had her heart broken by you, stupid boy. This is for every time you walked out leaving things unsaid. That's what you always did. Now you're begging me to stay, but you will never get your way. This is for every day you told me it would be okay, but it's not okay. You played games with my broken heart, so I'm gonna tear you apart. This is war, and every line I sing will shoot a bullet through to stop you, 'cause I don't love you anymore.
I definitely agree that that's a girl power song, and it's awesome. So
Thank you.
I'm not going to say if I prefer one or the other, because I actually have a song called It Wasn't Meant to Be, which originally was named Meant to Be.
Oh, wow.
So I actually was like, oh, wow, cool. You know,
Yeah.
funny how people come up with the same titles.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, Kevin and I have written quite a few empowerment songs and stuff like that. So I've kind of could be partial to both of them. But
Yeah.
you're right. They're both different. They're both
Yeah.
unique. And listening through the entire album, I love the fact that all of the songs are different. And this is one of the reasons why I was really excited to talk to you, because it's not cookie cutter. I find
Yeah.
a lot of what is on the radio today, a lot of what people are listening to is the same thing. It's very boring to me personally.
Right.
And I would venture to say even to some of the listeners. So I was very excited to listen to an album that was collectively different and inspiring and empowering and solid music. So
Thank you.
congratulations, because y'all have done a fantastic job
Thank you.
with that. So before we sign off, is there anything else you would like to share with our listeners, where they can find you on social media? Anything else you'd like to tell them that we haven't potentially covered?
Well, you can find my Instagram, SarahGrace.music_. I think that's it. I post singing videos all on there and original songs before. I have a recording of me singing Changes from when I was 16. That's just so like stripped down, me just playing chords on the piano. So that's always fun.
Website? It's SarahGraceMusic.com. So Sarah is SARAH.
Okay, yeah.
Grace, GRACE music.com. And you're on TikTok.
Oh, I am on TikTok. Oh,
One of the ones that I hate.
really?
I don't go on TikTok. I'm not a TikTok
TikTok
person.
is really big for songwriting right now, though, which I like a lot because I enjoy listening to other musicians and I get inspired to write new songs. And there are songwriting challenges. I just think it's fun. But yeah, my TikTok is Grace with 5 E's 55. So you can find me there too.
I will check you out on TikTok, and maybe I'll go and
Okay.
listen to check out some of their songwriting challenges. I have a couple of teenagers. One of my teenagers is into the TikTok stuff. He's
Yeah.
always on the. I'm
It's
watching
awesome.
TikTok.
I mean, you can duet with singers. Like, there are famous singers on TikTok, and you can press duet, and you can just sing with them. It's crazy.
Okay, that I didn't know.
It's cool.
So now I'm going to have to go and check, because I have my own little inspirational
Yeah.
or artists that I
Yep.
would be like, oh, that'd be really
Yeah,
cool to
Ruth
collab
B
with.
is on there, and I was like,
Oh,
okay.
you so need to do that. I would love that. Would be cool.
Yeah.
That would be wicked cool. All right. Well, I'd like to thank my wonderful guest, Sarah Grace, for taking the time to chat with me today. It has really been a pleasure having you on our show. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in for Mixing It. On behalf of everyone at Sim Radio, this is Nicki Kris. Until next time, keep on mixing it.